I'm more concerned with niggas been texting my cell, calling my phone, asking me about this Kendall shit. They ain't even really diss me on. I ain't drawn all this propaganda. Rap shit about it really sound.
Hi, I'm Jessica It's All Good Williams, and I'm here with Christopher Starchild, poet and author of his first publication, The Soul Street Hotel, Stories from Room 1309. So, Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic.
No complaints. No complaints.
So, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am from Morgan City, Louisiana. Born and raised, 86, baby.
Okay.
You know, small town. Ended up going to Nicholls State University undergrad. I'm here in Atlanta now for about 5.5, 6 years. Just came out here to chase a dream.
Really?
So, chase a dream.
And tell us about that dream.
Well, originally, you know, I started off a grad school student. You know, I finished up a master's degree in human performance and sport health science. And, you know, as far as ambition-wise, you know, I was an athlete coming up, an athlete in college, you know. And getting more and more into my career, I mean, I knew the NFL wasn't really, you know, a dream of mine, but I knew I wanted to stay in a working realm, in a working field that I can connect with athletes. I can still bring out that side of myself. So I got my master's degree, and just coming through, learning more and more about some of my gifts, learning more about what I can bring, you know, to this world, so to say. I developed more of an ambition to write. Like I've always was a fan of poetry, just coming up, but like I said, more and more coming into myself, I wanted to write, you know, a little more.
Okay, wonderful. Well, what exactly made you start writing poetry?
Well, my mother is an English teacher, you know, so growing up, like I said, just having that instilled in me, it was, you can't go to practice, you know, until your homework done. You can't play in this game, you know, if the grade is not right. You know, my grandmother instilled that in me. Both of my grandmothers instilled that in me. So, you know, as far as the writing, you know, that's why I fell in love with it at first.
They sound like some amazing women.
I mean, you know, I was surrounded by them, great role models, you know.
Wonderful. So, where do you find your inspirations to write?
Well, myself, I am an introvert. I'm an introvert. I am, so to say, a loner. Like, I am comfortable in situations. I have a lot of friends, my support system, you know. We are there for each other, but, you know, I still have my times where I'd rather, you know, go out by myself, you know, get in my zone where you just meet one-on-one, you know. Now, as far as, like I say, maturing more and more, I realized that, you know, I'm writing to vent, I'm writing to help myself, you know. But if it's a gift, I gotta find a way to express that, give it to the world, because somebody might be, you know, an introvert like me, who might not have an outlet or a vent, you know. So as far as me, you know, one of my forms of inspiration is for the introverts, for the misunderstood, for the ones who have a gift that they might be sharing, and let it out, you know, it might help somebody.
That's really good. And it's good that more people are wanting to inspire introverts. There's such a misconception that introverts can't go out and speak in front of others and write and such. So
exactly.
That's I think that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So this book, what made you decide to write this book?
Well, like if you go back and look through like old phones, you know, old notebooks, stuff like that, like the note app, I always had poetry. I always had poems, just like I say, written to myself. It could be, you know, pessimistic situations, it could be optimistic situations, it could be stressful situations, it could be, you know, happy, this life, you know, just written to myself. And over the years, I say like a group text message. Like I'll send like a motivational something out, or I'll send my mom a poem I wrote, or I'll send, you know, just getting it out there to my circle, you know. And I'm realizing more and more they're starting to like it. They're starting to ask me, man, why don't you do something with this gift? Why don't you do something to get it out there? So just taking more and more of their inspiration, you know, more of their push to me. You know, I wanted to put a project together and just try to tell a story behind it, and also put something on the shelves that, you know, a little different from most books. You know, of course they have poetry books, of course we have fiction and non-fiction books, but I wanted to put, you know, something a little different out there.
Okay, that's very good. That's very good. Now, when creating anything, especially something big, a publication, there's a lot of work, a lot of things that go into it. So can you tell us a little bit about the journey when you started getting ready to publish this?
I mean, first and foremost, what I learned, patience. Patience, because I went the folks who I went through, to get everything done, the publication. I edited myself, but that was a project in its own. But just to have that, like I wanted to get it out 1 week, but the deadline might not have been a month later. So mentally, had to calm myself down. So it taught me a lot about patience. It taught me a lot about like understanding there's a process. So it taught me to pace myself and, like I said, patience most of all.
Definitely a lesson to be learned.
Yeah.
Yes. So this name, Soul Street Hotel, Stories from Room 13, where did this title come from?
Well, the Soul Street, like as far as the hotel, I wanted to draw a picture of, it's a place, a solitude, because the writing that I've done for that, the writing that I did for that project, I was, alone a lot, So as far as a place coming from my soul, it's coming from a place that, like soulful, like it's happy stories, is pessimistic stories. It's stories about pain, it's stories about triumph, it's stories about, death and families, just the life experience, stories that I have that we all go through, male or female.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a place from my soul. And as far as the stories from room 1309, the book is dedicated to my little brother, to my brother. He's a grown man, of course, but I'm used to him. That's my little brother, Trey. It's dedicated to him. So it's a thing for one love, and his birthday is on March 9th, so 1309.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. And I love what you said about a hotel. You don't immediately think about a hotel being a place of solitude, because so many people walk through that lobby, but each room has a different story, and a lot of those people are by themselves in those rooms. Just think about how quiet it is on a hotel hallway.
Exactly.
How many times have you been in a hotel just by yourself? And I think that's just amazing.
Yeah, and just as far as the project, truth be told, a lot of the work, a lot of the poems, I went outside of my home and really checked into, a hotel.
Wow. What made you think of that?
Just to get more in the mental, behind it, more just to paint, to help myself get into it more personally. Because like I said, the reader, they can tell when it's not authentic. So if I'm putting my all to make it as real as possible, Soul Street Hotel, I lock myself away.
That's very, very wise thinking. I like that process. Now, I had the opportunity to look into your book here. I really enjoyed it, by the way. Someone reading would notice it's broken up into sections. Could you explain those different sections for us?
Well, the first section is broken up into like more of a pain, like more of a coming through, like a struggle, more of like a stressful situation, more of like a coming through a test, like a tribulation that's going to teach me something. Learn the hard way, so to say. So the first chapter, I broke it down, trying to paint that picture. The second chapter was, adulation and resentment. That was more of the love and lust, the male and female, some of the stories he broke down, situations with his girl. It could have been, to the sense of holding hands, or it could have been bedroom activity, just male and female. Like the hurt, the breakups, like I said, the good and the bad,
Yeah.
And I ended the book, the last chapter, it's focused on like an uprising, like more of a enlightenment, more of a finding the light, realizing that I can't accept my mistakes. If I can't accept them, the world can't. I gotta forgive myself. If I can't forgive myself, the world can't. If I can't honor myself, the world won't. The world won't do. The world won't do it. So I try to tell it, end it on a note that, like coming out of a rough situation, like ending it with a smile, so to say.
That's really good. Life is broken into sections anyway, and for you to take your book and plan it out so that it's a beautiful mirror of life. I love that. That's wonderful, Christopher. Now, if you could pick one of your favorite pieces, which one would it be and why? And of course, I know it's hard to pick your favorites when you're an artist, so if there's one that stands out to you before anything else, we can say that instead of favorites.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'll work out much better, much better.
All right.
I mean, 'cause, myself, just as an artist, I try to challenge myself to make my one I'm working on way better than my last one. You know? If I can pick one, I like Simba. I like Simba. In that story, I'm trying to tell like what I saw watching The Lion King. You know, truth be told, you know, I watched it with my little sister. It might have been, you know, a couple years ago. You know, and as soon as I, you know, got the idea, I wanted to tell that story of Simba leaving or being forced out. You know, going through a death, immediate death in the family. You know, from the leader, from his father figure, having to leave and grow up. You know, the story of Timon and Pumbaa. You know, try to tell that story, and I tried to tell the story of him going back and reclaiming what was his. Check it out, Simple.
Oh yeah, and I mean, Lion King, come on, it's one of those things that people of our generation, that was like an epic part of our childhood. So I know your book can relate to all kinds of ages and backgrounds, but I love how Simba really is like a shout out to those 80s and 90s babies.
Definitely.
Thank you for that.
Definitely.
So I want to let everyone see this cover again. Could you explain this cover? This is very interesting. Break it down for us.
Okay, well, the hotel he's working in, you can kind of see him sitting at the front desk, you know.
Okay,
and
I see this.
As far as the buildings, you know, across the street there is a church, a liquor store, and a strip club. And all three of those places tell a story within themselves. Now, as far as our culture, you know, as far as our society, you know, we see these three specific things a lot, maybe on certain sides of town, you know, as far as liquor stores, you know. Then, as far as like tell the story of temptation, you know. Why can't a church be on side of a liquor store? Mentally, you know what I'm saying? So I try to tell that story in that aspect, and then, you know, take a closer look at it. The soul on the street sign is bent. Like try to tell that story of like a hurt, like my soul is yearning for something right now. I'm broken right now. I'm trying to get fixed, you know. And I'm trying to fix myself. You know, I'm trying to, like I say, learn from mistakes, build my own, get into myself, build my own, you know, pride up, you know, the hard way. But right now it's just broken. And 303, that's just, you know, three numbers that are, you know, special to me. We don't have to get real metaphysical, we don't have to get real, you know, into the zodiac, anything like that, but that is, you know, an aspiration of mine, just the zodiac and some of that knowledge. Hence why the name Starchild, you know, that kind of tells that perspective of myself.
Oh, wow.
Like growing up, I mean, I always used to look up at the sky and get amazed, you know, get amazed by the stars. And my grandfather told me, you know, and I never understood it, but he told me, all those stars, they're inside of you, you know, they're inside of you. I never understood it, you know. But growing up, like I said, maturing, that name chose me. You know, I actually had a dream about my grandfather. I named my alter ego, you know, and Starchild just, like I said, just happened to fit into it and bring it back to that number 303, you know, just kind of bouncing off each other.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, who actually did this for you? Who did this illustration?
Actually, a friend of mine, a business associate of mine. I mean, I'm a fan of tattoos. You know, I have a lot of artwork as well. Guy named Steve. You know, I shot him out. I actually went to him just to kind of, you know, help me out a little bit. I wanted to get his name out there as well, and we have, you know, some upcoming work coming up. So just try to keep it more homegrown, more home based. You know, I went to him.
Oh, and that's great. You know, out here in Atlanta, it's beautiful how artists come together to create something beautiful. So That was beautiful. Thank you for shouting out to him as well and breaking that down for us. Now, back to your poetry. What is it that you hope to say to the world with your words?
That, first and foremost, like I was bringing up, the pride, you have to drop that sometime. As far as, myself, like I said, I've always written, but to get that gift out there, I had to drop a little bit of pride, As far as, inspiration, like we all, right now, as far as people I know, people I love, in my circle, we all trying to get it right now. Everybody has a job, at least, trying to get that position. It's the inspiration that you can, chase your gift. I try not to get so caught up in, everything that's going on. It's a lot of illusions out there, so to say. A lot of stuff that keep us off guard, that keep us off track of our path, But if you get into yourself and find out these gifts that you were given, from nobody but God, you get more into yourself, you'll find that inspiration that I'm not doing it for me, I'm doing it for the people. So as far as inspiration, the people are definitely one of mine.
Wow. Well then, with your words, we actually would like to hear a piece. I'm sure someone watching would want to hear one of these, so could you actually do that for us? What piece will you be reading for us today?
And I'm gonna go in the middle chapter of the book where I'm talking about the female, the love and lust chapter. And like I said today, in a society of, that male figure, we have to be, or we're, stereotyped to be, the tough guys all the time, And I'm gonna go through a piece named Makeup. And when you hear that, makeup, what I try to tell my story of, it's trying to tell the story of the makeup from a female and a male's point of view.
You're referring to makeup, like facial makeup?
I'm referring to facial makeup and making up the breakup.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, that's the one I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Makeup. Please overstand. I'd rather smear your lipstick than mess up your mascara. Lord knows I can't stand to see a woman cry. I can't lie, it's a trip. However, I will stand in attention when my second hand wants to know what favorite lip gloss goes on your lips. Move slow but think quick. Such an attraction to the curves that hide behind her lipstick. To the different shades of gray on faces most ladies choose to cover up with. Confused men who so feministically choose to cover up with. On long nights when arguments make loved ones lay in bed in anger. So hard to share the covers and so tough to cuddle up with. My vibe is off balance with the one you're so in touch with. Shy lights. Make it up to break it up again in the morning. Tuck the pillows, bite the sheets. Traffic jam, brake squeak. I'm late for work once again in the morning. Please understand that I'd rather smear your lipstick than mess up your mascara. Spending hours in front of mirrors in the morning. So tired in the morning. But the eyeliner smeared from the night before, smeared while she yawns in the morning. Takes a deep breath and now at ease. Before clocking in to get her cake up once again in the morning. Ready for the new day. Put it on her makeup once again in the morning.
Wow.
Makeup.
Wow. Wow. Your way with words is amazing. Some things that stood out to me, the mascara versus lipstick. Like what I'm assuming when you say mess up the lipstick, things like kissing, passionate lovemaking, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then mascara, obviously being one who knows a little bit about makeup, usually that's messed up from crying.
Right.
So are you comparing that to like a bad conversation that brings heated feelings?
I mean, I'm just trying to separate that dialect between I'd rather, make you happy than hurt you. The smearing, I don't want to make you cry. I'm not trying to make you cry. But I'm going to still mess up your makeup one way or another. But
Oh,
trying
wow.
to just split that dialect a little bit.
I've been a fan of makeup since a young age. Like I've had a love-hate relationship with makeup, so hearing that analogy was just really awesome. And then the overstand. Could you break that down to us?
I mean, as far as, like I said, what I want to bring to to the poetry, you know, art. I like to, not to say create my own words, but get into just the very meaning of words. I say as far as understand, you know, in my head I see a line, I don't want to understand, I want to overstand, I want to understand, you know. It might not be, you know, common words to most, but that's words that I use, you know, that I try to bring in, that I use in everyday conversation. And like I say, just being more true to myself, is try to, you know, bring it into my art as well, you know, so overstand.
Wow, that is extremely deep. Overstand, I'm gonna have to start using that in my conversations.
And, you know.
Don't want you, I need you to be here.
Tomato,
you need to get it and then get it some more.
You heard me?
Yeah. So, as we begin to wrap up here, I'm appreciating all these things that you're sharing with us. Is there anything else that you could tell us that you think we need to know about your work, about your poetry, about this book, anything at all?
I mean, like they say, don't judge a book by its cover, you know. Don't judge the poem by its title, you know. Don't expect, you know, a certain thing. Because, you know, I try to make it a part of my everyday lifestyle. I'm a rebel, you know. I try to be as eccentric as I can, you know, as eclectic as I can, you know. So as far as the wordplay, like keep an open mind. Just try to keep an open mind. It's not for the closed-minded at all.
Wow. And just the fact that you're writing a book of poetry, that is something you're seeing less and less. So the rebel, the bringing that back, that's wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. And if somebody wanted to order the book or learn more about you, how could they do that? How could they find you? How could they find the book?
Well, they can go on my website, www.ofthegifted.com. You can find it on there. It's also on Amazon.com and through Kindle.
Wonderful, wonderful. Wow, well, Chris, it's been fantastic sitting here talking with you. Thank you so much. I'm Jessica, it's All Good Williams, and you have a fantastic day.
Oh man, I'm more concerned with niggas been texting my cell, calling my phone, asking me about this Kindle shit. They ain't even really diss me on, I ain't drawn all this propaganda. Rap shit about it really sound them. Now I'm lyrical all of a sudden. Well, last year they claim they ain't understand me, I'm burying niggas and pissing on their graves. Other nigga name on your chain and they call me a slave. Niggas scared of this country ball. Don't forbid I catch a bite in the